It is 1943. The Allies have won North Africa. Now they want Sicily. But there is a problem. Everyone knows Sicily is the obvious target. The Germans have fortified it. Heavy defenses. Strong troops. If the Allies invade Sicily head-on, the casualties will be catastrophic. Winston Churchill needs a way to make Hitler look the other way. But how do you deceive the most paranoid man in Europe? The answer would come from the darkest corners of British intelligence, and it would involve a dead body. The plan was born in a memo called the Trout Memo, written by Rear Admiral John Godfrey and his assistant, a young naval officer named Ian Fleming. Yes, that Ian Fleming, the man who would later create James Bond. Item number 28 on the list was bizarre. A suggestion, they wrote, not a very nice one. Drop a corpse carrying false documents where the enemy will find it. Let them discover the body. Let them believe the papers. The idea sat in a file for years, until a tall, nearsighted RAF officer named Charles Chumley found it. He took it to the 20 Committee, the Double Cross Committee. They rejected it at first. Too risky, too macabre. But the chairman, Sir John Masterman, saw something in it. He paired Chumley with Ewen Montagu, a brilliant lawyer turned naval intelligence officer. Together, they would turn a wild idea into the most successful deception of the war. They needed a corpse, a very specific corpse. Male, recently dead, no family to ask questions. The search led them to a mortuary in London. There, they found Glyndwr Michael, a homeless man from Wales. His father had committed suicide when he was young. His mother had died when he was 31. He had drifted to London, alone, forgotten. He died in January 1943. Not from battle, not from bombing, from rat poison, an accident, or perhaps despair. Montagu would later describe him as an ne'er-do-well, a man who never amounted to much. But the only worthwhile thing he ever did, he did after his death. The body was kept on ice. They had 3 months before it would decompose beyond use. Time was running out. They created a person from nothing. Captain, Acting Major William Martin, Royal Marines, assigned to Combined Operations Headquarters under Lord Mountbatten. He was born in Cardiff. He had a fiancée named Pam. Her photograph was actually an MI5 clerk named Jean Leslie. He had love letters in his pocket, a receipt for a diamond engagement ring from Bond Street, a letter from his father, pompous and pedantic as only an Edwardian father could be, a bank notice demanding payment of an overdraft, ticket stubs from a London theater, a bill from the Naval and Military Club, cigarettes, matches, a pencil stub, keys. Every detail was designed to make William Martin real, to make anyone who found him believe he had lived, loved, and died like any other officer. But the most important item was the briefcase, shackled to his wrist. Inside, 2 letters that would change the course of the war. The first letter was from General Sir Archibald Nye, Vice Chief of the Imperial General Staff, to General Harold Alexander in North Africa. It discussed troop movements, reinforcements for Greece and Crete. It mentioned Sicily only as a diversion, a feint, a trick to draw German forces away from the real target. The second letter was from Lord Mountbatten to Admiral Cunningham. It introduced Major Martin as an expert in amphibious landings. It made a bad joke about sardines, a hint the Germans would think that Sardinia was the next invasion target. Montagu knew the Germans would scrutinize every word, so he made the letters imperfect. He mentioned the disastrous Dieppe raid frankly. He added human touches, a joke that was not funny, details that felt too real to be fake. The Germans had broken British codes before, so Montagu sent pre-scripted cables between the British vice consul in Spain and London. Cables he knew the Germans were reading. cables that played out the story. The briefcase must be retrieved. The documents are important. Do not let them fall into enemy hands. It was reverse psychology, and it worked. April 17, 1943. The body was dressed, but there was a last-minute problem. The feet had frozen. They could not get the boots on. An electric heater was found. The feet were thawed just enough. The pocket litter was placed. The briefcase was attached. The body went into a steel canister filled with dry ice. The canister was labeled, "Handle with care, optical instruments." An MI5 driver named Jock Horsfall, a former racing champion, drove the van through the night to Scotland. Montagu and Chumley rode in the back. At Greenock, the canister was loaded onto HMS Seraph, a submarine. The commander, Lieutenant Bill Jewell, told his crew it contained a top-secret meteorological device. On April 19, Seraph set sail. It was bombed twice en route, but it kept going. On April 29th, it arrived off the coast of Huelva, Spain. At 4:15 in the morning on April 30th, the submarine surfaced. The officers brought the canister on deck. The crew was sent below. Jewell read Psalm 39. Then they lowered the body into the dark water. The engines went to full astern. The wash from the screws pushed the corpse toward the shore. The empty canister was taken 12 miles out and destroyed with explosives. Jewell sent a message to the Admiralty. Mincemeat completed. At 9:30 that same morning, a local fisherman found the body. It was taken to Huelva. The Spanish authorities, nominally neutral but filled with Nazi sympathizers, examined it. An autopsy was performed on May 1st. The British vice-consul, Francis Haselden, was present. He urged the doctors to finish quickly. The heat, the smell. The doctors agreed. They signed a death certificate. Asphyxiation through immersion in the sea. Major William Martin was buried with full military honors on May 2nd. But the briefcase was kept by the Spanish Navy. For 9 days, frantic messages flew between Germany and Spain. Be aware wanted those documents. Admiral Wilhelm Canaris himself intervened. The papers were photographed. The letters were opened using thin steel rods, then resealed. The Germans never knew they had been read. By May 14th, Hitler had made his decision. Sicily was not the target. Greece and Sardinia must be reinforced. He ordered the 1st Panzer Division moved from France to Greece. 7 infantry divisions from Italy to the Balkans. 10 more to Greece. Sardinia was doubled to 10,000 troops. Even as the invasion of Sicily began, Hitler still believed the real attack would fall on Greece. On July 9, 1943, the Allies invaded Sicily. Operation Husky. Over 150,000 troops. 3,000 ships. 4,000 aircraft. The Germans were caught off guard. Even 4 hours after the invasion began, 21 Axis aircraft left Sicily to reinforce Sardinia. The island fell in 38 days, not the predicted 90. Casualties were far lower than expected. The invasion paved the way for Italy, and eventually Normandy. Historian Sir Michael Howard called Operation Mincemeat the best known, and perhaps the most successful single deception operation of the entire war. Montagu wrote a book, The Man Who Never Was. It sold 2 million copies. It became a film, but Montagu never revealed the whole truth. He never named the real man behind Major Martin. That secret stayed buried until 1997, when the Commonwealth War Graves Commission added a postscript to the grave in Huelva. GLY and DWR, Michael served as Major William Martin, RM. Glyndwr Michael, a homeless man from Wales. No family, no future. In life, he was invisible. In death, he changed the world. His grave in Welva bears two names: the fiction and the truth. William Martin, the man who never was. And Glyndwr Michael, the man who never knew what he became. Some people are remembered for what they did, others for what they never had the chance to do. But sometimes, the most ordinary life can become the most extraordinary weapon. And sometimes, the man who never existed saves more lives than any soldier who ever lived.